time shifts per day, but it's not a big thing. It's kind of like if you do a cross-country trip in a car in America. We've done Ohio to California, California to Texas, Texas back to California, California to Texas again, and Texas to Michigan about 2 or 3 or 4 times. So, and we also did Michigan to Tennessee as well. But it's like, I've just gone through 3 time zones, but it really doesn't matter because, each day on the travel was either 23 hours or 25 hours. And the body can kind of cope with that type of shift. What it doesn't cope well with is an 11-hour shift or an 8-hour shift in the day. So what your body thinks is 8 o'clock in the morning is actually midnight, and body doesn't cope well with that. Some people's bodies cope less well than others. So there's that thing. So how are we doing so far? We've been streaming for about an hour. Yay! It's one of the reasons why I don't like maps with big fields is it takes a long time to do everything. And this month we don't have anything better to do than plough this field and do a contract. And last week it was a little bit more hectic because we were harvesting, baling, hauling, cutting grass. So we were doing a lot of different things, and so it was much, I felt I'm moving around a lot. Plus that grass field, while it's big, it doesn't take long to do things. Plus I can run down to the store with the little John Deere and bring back stuff that's needed later, like spray tanks and fertilizer spray and all sorts of things. So it's not bad when you've got lots to do, but what I don't like is and it wasn't even a game I was streaming, but there was one game, and I think someone did stream it, and they had streamed for about an hour and a half. They had 4 successive streams where they were personally harvesting a field, and then the next 4 streams where they were baling up all the straw. And it's like, this isn't, this isn't, you're not progressing very quickly because, it's taking you so long to harvest the field. Your farm is static. And I think that series ran for about 10 episodes and then they quit. They really hadn't done anything, they hadn't made any money or anything like that. It's one of the reasons why, for something like this, I would prefer to be doing this job in the last hour of the stream and then finish it while I'm having lunch with a worker and not streaming it. Because you've seen me start, you don't need to see me doing all the things. We can, we can just say, it got completed, and we're moving on to other things now. But when you've only got 3 fields, it's not something you can, there's not a lot of variety. I'm back on Oakfield Farm. We had a big farm that it's like, okay, I'm going to set this thing off harvesting the wheat. I'm going to go off and take some vehicles over to this field. They're going to start harvesting sugar beets, and then every so often I'm running out there with a tractor with a cart to haul the sugar beets away. And there's just a lot happening, and it becomes not so much farm simulator as farm manager, where you're managing all of the tasks and you're doing the ones that the workers can't do. Now, admittedly, the worker could be doing this, but then again, because I've done alternate rows here, the worker can't complete this job for me anymore. They could do if I finish the main body and then just said, hey, just go and finish off the headlands. But for right now, I have to complete this task. But that's what life on the farm is going to be like, at least initially. As we get more fields, I can get more distributed harvest planting crops. The problem is we're probably good as soon as we've harvested the corn. So long as we've got enough product for the animals to eat, I'm not going to need to play out an entire month of game time. We can just, okay, October we're going to be harvesting the corn. November we're going to do another grass cut. December, January, February, there is nothing to do except make sure the animals stay alive. Maybe sell some milk, maybe sell some wool, but not a lot going on. So I'll do a thing, skip a day, maybe sell some things, but it'll all be really, quick, short stuff, and then, okay, now it's planting season, and everything needs to be planted on the same day, so that's where things are going to get a little bit more interesting. Although that said, I think our case tractor is big enough to haul both of our seeders, planters, both our seeder and our planter even. Take a look at that. When I get to the end, we'll turn around. I'll see what that looks like. But potentially I could just set both of these off on workers. And I can putter around in the little hut John Deere, making sure they keep supplied with seed, maybe solid fertilizer. We need to check on those things. Let's take a look at that now. So, blah, 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 blah. So this is 405, 420. The case is 302. The cedar is less than 302. Fernland is less than 302. So we can seed with both of our big tractors. I'm pretty sure the little one is completely out of its depth. 116, yes. So we can plant two fields simultaneously, so long as we're doing a plant and a seed. And if I'm going to plant sorghum, that's April, May. And if I'm going to plant soybeans, it's also April, May. The only other question is, that plants, that's sorghum, that's soybeans. Oh, they both need the Kverneland. That's going to be a pain. Kverneland does not have much in the way of seed capacity, so we're going to be running around taking care of that one. If I can get me some land, then I could plant some wheat. I'm probably not going to be able to buy a big field that I can chunk a lot of wheat out into. I could borrow some money and buy land. That's, by my personal rules of finance, that is allowed. We can buy land because if we get into dire straits, we can sell land. We do not have the variable land value mod available at this time. There is a hard mode mod that came out this week, which basically makes all the land you own is worth 50% of its base value. All of the land you don't own is worth 100% of its base value. So if you buy land and you harvest it and then you sell it, you lose at least 50%, or you lose 50% of the land value. You'd better make darn sure that the crop value covers that 50%. However, it also stops you jumping around between vehicles and changing the speed. You have to play in real time. And the only way to make time move on at any speed is to sleep. That doesn't really fit how how my setup works. I'm playing at 3 times speed. I think if I would play at 4 times speed. So each month is one effective game day, regardless of whether I'm playing 1 day a month or 4 days a month. But times 4 speed isn't an option. So yeah, anyway, it's hard mode it's got some nice aspects, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to flip fields. But if I do get into dire straits, I might sell a field if I can't find any way out of the hole I've dug myself into. But I'm fairly, what's the word for it? Fairly conservative when it comes to financial decisions, what I'm going to buy. But like I said, if I've got 80% of the value of a field, I might just buy a field, borrow the rest. It's going to be time before I can make money. I can recoup money to pay that loan back. That's the problem. The other potential rule is if I wanted to forage that corn, wherever it went, where'd my corn go? Oh, it's way over there. But yeah, if I foraged the corn, then I need a forage harvester and header. I could borrow money to buy that, which would enable me to forage the corn. But it's still going to be over a month to stick it in a bunker, compact it, cover it, wait for it to be silage before I could sell it as silage. So that's not brilliant. And then, or if I didn't have a corn header. Okay, I need to buy a corn header. I can then go and harvest the corn. I can turn the corn around immediately and sell it and repay the loan. Because I'm making the money immediately. So it's always a case of making the money immediately. My cow milk, for example. We're producing cow milk. Yay! I do not have a tanker. So I can't do anything with the cow milk. So I need to, I'm going to need to buy a tanker in order to sell it. But if I've got 30,000 litres of milk in the barn, then I can borrow some money, buy a 30,000 litre tanker, or even just a 15,000 litre tanker, haul it to the dairy, sell it, and pay off the debt. So that's fine. It's almost like going down to the store and saying, hey, can I test drive your tanker? And if it works out for me, I'll come back and buy it. Sure, you can test drive my tanker. Okay, fine. So you haul the tanker down, you fill it up, you sell your milk, you turn back up with your check from the dairy and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep this, thank you, it works out really nicely. Might eventually need a bigger flatbed because we've only got that tiny one at the moment, which is just about good enough for 4 or 5 pallets of stuff from the store. And at the moment the farm is small enough that I'm not really needing to transport much more than 4 or 5 pallets of things. I think I bought 4 pallets of stuff, oats for the horses, which is fine. And we're probably going to need more than that. But they're kind of eating that kind of quickly. We're also going to need a weeder at some point, because obviously these weeds are a problem. And I don't have a spot spray attacher on the sprayer. I could get one, but I tend to prefer mechanical weeding because it doesn't harm the crop yield. It doesn't give me as much environmental bonus. But like I said, all the things I've done so far, and I'm at plus 1% sell price on things. I don't know. We'll see what's what when it happens. Do that, do that. And we are 23% through our contract. So the other thing that's happening this weekend is there is a steam tractor fair up, or an ag fair up at, I believe it's Mason in, so just south of Lansing in Michigan. So they had, yesterday it started, all day today, and half a day tomorrow, and they have basically a half day of demonstrations. So on Friday and Saturday they have a morning session and an afternoon session where they do the same set of demos. So we are planning to go to that, even though the weather today is planning to be intermittent thunderstorms all day. Not sure. And Mrs. Osa said, yeah, we're close enough that we could just drive up there, drive by, have a look, and make a decision whether we want to stay or not, and then come home if we decide not to stay, or stay and then come home. Yeah, just this minute occurred to me, what we could do is go up anyway, stay, or not. We could continue on to Lansing and have some Indian food before we come home. We usually only make that as a special trip when it's a birthday. However, I don't want to go on that road, sorry. If we're going to be in the area, I don't have a problem with grabbing some good food. So we'll see how that works out. I do believe next week is August. Actually, Friday is August. Saturday will be August as well, of course. This month has gone very quickly. I guess I got little bits of stuff done on the model railway, but I didn't really have a hard, fast goal. It was basically we're getting a laser cutter, and what I need to do is learn how to use it and mess around with things. And so at the end of 1, 2, 3, 4, effectively 4 weeks of July so far, I've glued down one piece of track, I've painted 2 switches, and I have glued down a piece of cork. And then I've made some possible uncoupling contraptions for just stick some neodymium magnets in it and stick it under the track. So possibly towards the end of this week I might end up with those tested and confirmed. I cut 4 of them just in case they work. But if it works, then I can actually start laying more cork and gluing down track. Now that we have the honeycomb device for the laser cutter, I can start cutting bits out for the platforms. That's going to be a thing. Yeah, once those are, it's going to take, there's going to be a little bit of measurement as well. I need to measure how they're going to sit. But once all that's done, I can start assembling the frame. Getting the placement right, that's going to be the tricky bit, I think. Looks like there's a piece there I need to do. So we'll do that by eye. It's really, it's not that big. But then the thing with the platform layout is, whoa, where are you going? Do not go that way. Oh, man. You're going that way. Thank you. Do that, do that, do that. So yes, I will, yeah. Once I've got the frame cut, then I have to start the long task of getting the edging and top etched with stone formations and flagstone formations. And traditionally those take the laser a long time. So we'll see how that all works out. The other thing is I'm not sure about glue. Well, see, I'm kind of thinking once I've got the lattice done, if I make sure it's flat, then I can always, I'm thinking I'm probably going to need the ability to I drove a very, very tiny bit on inside headland, and now it thinks I've already done all of it. Yeah, the thing with the platform, I think I'm going to want to glue the lattice to the baseboard so that it doesn't move around. But if I'm going to provide lighting for the buildings and sort of platform lights and things like that, I'm going to have electrical connections coming up through the baseboard and then be able to attach lights to it. And that is going to make for... I can't seal it all off. If I seal it all off, undoubtedly some lights are going to blow or the electrics are going to go bad. I'm going to need to have to get underneath the platform, and it's not going